Yo.
Welcome, welcome.
Oh, wow. You can actually hear you.
Yeah, I think I've figured out what was going on. I was having some issues because I was using, my AirPods, a little humble
Oh,
brag there. And so they were having some issues because when I would send the links to you guys over Messenger, it would, for some reason, disconnect. And then so then as soon as, right, because it leaves the app so I can send you guys the link. And then once the app like was brought back for some reason there was a disconnect between my AirPods and the app. But I think I've got it figured out. So welcome, Dalton.
Hey, how is everyone?
good.
Going well, going well. A little tired.
Well, yeah, back to back midnight shifts.
Oh my goodness, man, they're brutal, and it's on a college campus. I make tacos for people, so and like last night there was this huge frat party, I guess. So like they were just wheeling in drunk and belligerent and rude.
Yo, dude, I bet, because, once I get drunk, first thing I want, tacos every single time.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, and so like so the thing is we don't close till 3 a.m. So people are rolling in at 2:30, and then like the problem is we've run out of like things like chips. So they roll in and they're like, "Can we have a bag of queso chips?" And we're like, "We're actually out of chips." And they're like, "Well, I just ordered queso, so what am I supposed to eat?" And they'd just be so upset. Or like the big one, this dude ordered like so full two tacos. So we have these things, little, just a little pump for. I work at a place called Gringos Locos. Little shout out. Yeah, and we have this thing on the menus. They're really popular. They're called the Double D's. And basically, what it is, it's a soft shell taco, and then we put queso on the soft shell taco, and then we wrap it around a hard shell.
Oh,
Yeah, they're fire. Anyway, so
dude,
So
he he
this has been Taco Talk brought to
dude,
you by Gringo.
I'm so hungry now. But I don't
yeah,
think this restaurant exists in Canada.
no, it only exists in Orlando.
Oh,
Yeah, there's like six in Orlando, and that is it.
how much are flight tickets?
um, and so this dude orders them with everything on it, right? Lettuce, sour cream, all the good stuff, right? And so then the dude right after him orders the same thing except with just meat and cheese, right? So I make the meat and cheese one real fast, send it down, get him out of here. The dude waiting on his other tacos, and it only takes like 30 seconds to put the rest of the stuff on it. He's like, why did he get my tacos? Why did he get his tacos first? I ordered before him. And I was like, I was just making his. They were easier. I'm making yours right now. Like I'm in the process of making them. You'll get them. And he's just like, I don't understand why he got it first. And I like literally I passed to him like, here you go. And he like walks out shaking his head. And he's like, oh, these damn don't know how to do their jobs. And I was like, okay, pal. It's like 2 in the morning. Like, come on.
Poor Michael.
Anyways, welcome everyone to episode 20.
Oh boy.
I know. Big shout out to all the listeners for all their love and support for keeping us going. I think we're up to $1.52 if I remember correctly. Yeah.
How much does a beer cost down in the States?
Oh, geez. Depends on how good of one you want, but
All right, let's just go with your normal. You're just gonna get fucked up. You're gonna get like 12 of these kind of thing.
like a good old 12 pack. I mean, I don't know, Chris. What do you think?
You could probably get a 12-pack of Bud Light for like $11.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're almost up to 2 beers then. That's pretty good.
Yeah, almost to 2 beers. Hey, listen, once we hit $5, I'm cashing out and I'm taking it to a pizza place down the street that gives you a piece of pizza and a beer for $5.
Oh,
Moon.
Yeah, Blue Moon. Chris knows what I'm talking about.
Those pizzas are the size of like an elephant. They are enormous.
They go. Yeah.
And a beer too for only $5, dude. That's a hell of a deal.
A pint.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous.
Are we sponsored by these things we keep talking about?
We should be. Anyway, boys. So I mean, so after the trade deadline, we had obviously a longer episode than usual. Not a lot going on in the hockey world this last week. Jets and Oilers played 5 games. I'd like to give it myself a little pat on the back. We had 5 games. I won the week, boys. So I'm now back in the mix. It's now a score of 5-4 for Chris leading.
What is going on?
Yeah, that's 2 in a row for me. I got 4 of the 5, and I correctly predicted one of the 5-2 Jets wins.
Was it the? Oh, I was going to say, was it the 8-1 Jets win?
It was not. It was not. And I'd actually like to point out that both of you guys predicted that the Jets were going to lose to Carolina.
Hey, just while we're here, I mean, I'm sorry, guys, but you remember we've been talking about this Carolina celebration? I didn't see it last night. I just saw
Yeah.
what happened there.
I was going to say, I didn't think there was going to be much of a storm surge last night.
I would have loved if they do it after losses. That'd just be the funniest thing ever.
Adam Lowry did the skull clap as he was leaving the ice, so that was pretty hilarious.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
All right, we're jumping ahead. So we start last week with the Jets playing the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets obviously have all their new guys starting in, and the Blue Jackets are actually out of a playoff spot, and the Jets thump them with a 5-2 loss that I correctly predicted.
Well done.
And was this the 4-goal Blake Wheeler game? I believe it was, wasn't it?
Yes.
And Blake Wheeler with 4 goals.
What happened there?
Yeah, for an assist, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it was impressive. I mean, and I think only one of them was a tip-in. So I mean, that's pretty impressive. And I mean, I think the crazier thing is that's not even the highest amount of goals scored in a game by a Jets player this season.
Right.
Which is I think more impressive. And Line A, I mean, still having trouble scoring, but I've seen him. He's starting to pick up the assists here and there.
Line A is playing well.
All right, that's good to hear.
But yeah, so one interesting fun fact, Wheeler actually is blowing his chance to go into the history books. Do you guys know why?
Do tell.
He was on track to become the first player in NHL history to get 100 points in a season without scoring 20 goals. And then he goes and scores 4 goals in a game and ruins it.
How many goals is he up to now?
That's a good question. He's got to be close.
Good to Google.
Else.
Blake Wheeler stats. Boom. All right. Blake Wheeler on the season has 19 goals, 64 assists for 83 points in 67 games.
All right, no more goals, Wheeler. Just someone just break his stick or something like that.
He'll have wide open empty nets. He'll start passing backwards.
He'll just do what McDavid does, bring her off the post.
Yeah, oh my goodness. But so the thing that I've noticed, I don't think Columbus has won a game since they've had all the people they brought in.
They've definitely been on a slide for sure.
Yes, and they're out. Currently, they are out of a playoff spot.
Yeah, the only thing really going in their favor is that everybody else around them also doesn't know how to win.
Yeah, it's been a weird, honestly, season. It's almost like there's a couple teams are we're making the playoffs, and everyone else is we'll get there if we get there.
If you lose 10 straight, who cares? It's all good. Whatever. Life's not a race, it's a marathon.
Exactly. But what do we think's going on with the Blue Jackets, guys?
I think Tortorella is a shitty coach.
That too.
Ooh.
I think it's a number of things.
Do you think that they're still obviously since they brought in 4 new guys and new defensemen, obviously top end guys that they need to just gel, and once they gel, they'll start clicking and go, or do you think there's maybe something a little bit deeper here?
Well, it's definitely there's probably some chemistry issues, right? If you play with somebody for your entire career, you're obviously going to be a lot easier to breed them and that kind of stuff, right? And so coming in, it's probably some of that a little bit of an issue, but I don't know how much of it really can be attributed just to bad chemistry.
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually listened to the 31 Thoughts podcast this last week, and they had Tortorella on as a guest, and they actually asked him, and I really like, not to plug a much better podcast, but they asked really good questions, and like they basically point blank asked him, you guys are out of a playoff spot. Are you worried? And Tortorella just goes, of course I'm worried. But like, I don't know. He seemed optimistic. I think one of my big things is Bobrovsky has not really looked Bobrovsky form the last little bit.
Yeah. This entire season, pretty much, right?
Like he has his spurts where they kind of get hot and they start winning a bit, but then as soon as they start losing, you go back and look at his stats, and he's a big part of the reason why they're kind of in this weird state of on and off.
Yeah. I think Columbus will make the playoffs just because of the amount of talent they have on that team, but I'm not gonna lie. If they miss, I think it'll be one of the funniest things that happened this season.
I mean, so worst case scenario, they miss the playoffs and then all their free agents walk.
Oh, and then does the GM get fired in that scenario? Torts for sure. I think you clean house at that point. I think if you go, I mean, like you said, he pushed all his chips into the middle. Like he's thrown away draft picks for the next 3 years. I mean, and so if it works, it'll be a stroke of genius. But if it doesn't, like, he's not looking good. Yeah, he's sitting out at 4 to 5 for the straight flush right now, and he's really hoping a club's gonna come up.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand the reference, but yeah. All right, so moving on, the Oilers then took on the Sabres at home, and this was a bit of a rocky one. But happy with the result. The Oilers go down 3-1. They battled back, and honestly, in the second period, they take it to them and go up 4-3.
Yeah, it was nice to see the team not quit when they're down a couple.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, at first I was like, oh man, Koskinen was looking rough, and then we battened down the hatches, we took it to him, and man, the last few games actually, our cycle game in the offensive zone has been unreal.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I don't know if it's chemistry or what, but it's working right now for sure.
Yeah. All right, so moving on then, the Jets take on the Lightning, and Chris, you were actually in Winnipeg. Obviously, the Jets didn't play in Winnipeg, but you've been in Winnipeg the last week or so. Isn't that right?
How stupid is that?
Yeah, right.
Although it's far away from this game.
Yeah. So first off, how was Winnipeg?
It was cold and dirty and gross.
Yeah, it sounds like Winnipeg.
So were you happy to get back?
So happy.
Okay, so my next question for you, Chris, is how was the bus ride from Fargo, Dakota, since Winnipeg doesn't have an airport? He's out of here. That couldn't have been better.
I think that's probably the best time you've ever had for that. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that was really good.
You didn't hear something?
Okay, so Chris, I want to know how the bus ride was from Fargo, Dakota, since Winnipeg doesn't have an airport.
I said we took snowmobiles.
Oh, really?
And again,
he's just not happy.
No, stop asking questions about Canada. Apparently.
All right. Fair enough. So obviously the Jets lose in this one. They lose 5-2 to the Lightning. Chris, so what did you see from this game?
Well, actually, I think the Jets actually played pretty well. They hung with them till the end, and I don't know if you guys watched the game, but Kucherov hit Hellebuck in the face with a shot and knocked Hellebuck out of the game just for a power play. And, of course, the Lightning scored on the power play, so that was just a really bad bit of luck for the Jets. You can see Tampa is an elite team. They're an excellent team. But I feel like the score didn't really reflect how they played.
Yeah, and that seems to be a pretty common theme with, good teams playing the Tampa Bay Lightning this season. Tampa Bay Lightning are just another caliber. Like, everyone kind of comes out of, like I know when the Leafs played Tampa and lost, Steve Dangle, he was like, we played a good game. It's just Tampa's just a machine.
Yeah, they're just so good.
Yeah, they're
Speaking of good. that Hellebuck shot, though, did you hear his interview after the game?
I was actually about to pull up his comments.
All right.
Do you have him?
I don't. Not on me, no.
Okay,
I have him in my mind, but like, if you're gonna pull him up, you might as well just read him.
All right, I got him. Yeah, okay, here we go. We are pulling it up. All right, it's loading. Okay. All right, where the hell is it?
So basically, I can give you the spirit of what he said.
Yeah, go.
So basically, the Kucherov shot bent his mask, and the cut was from the puck hitting his face. It wasn't a compression shot.
I got the quotes, by the way.
Okay, chain link fence, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So he a couple days, he said he still has a noticeable mark above his left eye, and he said they wanted to give me a stitch, but I told them to glue it. It gives me a better scar. I like scars, I guess. Glue is faster, and I don't have to deal with needles.
I think your goalie's a little bit insane, but he's also a goalie, so
you gotta be a little crazy to take pucks. And Kucherov has a heavy wrist shot too, so
he's got a heavy everything.
Yeah, dude, Kucherov is next level. But I still think McDavid will catch him. I mean, whatever. All right, so then the Oilers then play the Vancouver Canucks. We go up 3-1, 3-0, was it?
Yep, 3-0.
Yeah, we go up 3-0. They scored 2 in the third period. Things got a little dicey, but we held the fort. Koskinen was huge in this game.
Mm-hmm. How good has he looked since he basically took over as the starter?
Have you looked at his stats since Talbot's gone? Like, he's been fantastic.
Yeah, he's holding it down for sure. It's promising to see, especially with the Oilers signing him for so long after this.
Yeah. I actually want to backpedal real quick back to the Sabres game because we didn't talk about the act of God that fell upon the Oilers at the end of game. For those that didn't see it, it's the game 4-3, up by 1 goal. Eichel, the defenseman Montour basically set Pominville up on the back door for a wide open net. Koskinen's nowhere, no defenseman around him. He heels the puck towards the net, and if he whiffed on it, and then he for some reason, because he's on one knee, he brought his stick back and pulled the puck then out from going in. Because if he just whiffed on it, the puck was still going to go in.
Mm-hmm. He just had to tap it. He didn't even have to touch it. It was in the net.
Yeah, he could have just breathed on it and it would have gone in the net. But he basically double clutched and pulled the puck out of the net, and the Oilers won the game.
And not only did he pull it out of the net, he tossed that puck out of there.
Yeah, he probably hit it harder pulling it out of the net than he did pushing it towards. So the Oilers are on a 4-game win streak.
Yeah. I'm beginning to believe, and I hate it.
You're beginning to believe again?
Yeah. God. I don't know why that makes me so upset, but it does. Yeah, I can see the heartbreak in the future.
I understand. And so then, like we hinted at, the Jets then took on the Carolina Hurricanes in Carolina, and the Jets absolutely dunked on the bunch of jerks.
What a bunch of jerks.
Yeah. I will say I actually caught a bit of this game. The Jets are really happy Ehlers is back.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, his speed, and obviously, they love him as a teammate, but just the speed and skill he brings is fantastic for the team. Just because you can insert speed anywhere in the lineup. He's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Hayes with a pretty nice goal last night too, off of a nice rush by him. He batted out of midair. I mean, yeah. Chris, what can you say about this?
I could say many, many things, including we got a pretty good goalie. Thank you so much, Edmonton Oilers. We appreciate it.
Yeah, Brissot was in net for this one.
Yo, no worries. We just have a backup we haven't played yet now, so it's cool.
Yeah,
he was excellent. He was excellent. So yeah, he was great. We won the Corsi and the Scorsese, which is important.
Very much.
No, I'm pretty sure the Carolina Hurricanes tweeted out that they won the face-off percentage. So.
Yeah, which I replied, "Thank you for trying to make pie out of shit."
yeah.
Like, did you see that? Like, they do this like LASIK eye on stats or some bullshit after every game.
Yeah.
And all they did was try to find the stats that didn't make them look like dog shit, and they posted those. Well, both teams had 18 hits, and
29 shots.
Winnipeg had 28 shots, and we had 29. But we won the face-off.
We beat them in the face-off, Dot.
I mean, it sounds to me like the Jets just got lucky then.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
And so since I don't have a lot of NHL news and stuff like that to talk about, I wanted to ask Chris what you thought about Ben Chiarot this season, because he's got 5 goals on the season, or did he get 2 last night?
No, I think it's an assist on the second one. I think it went off somebody.
Okay. So he's got 5 goals on the season. Actually, let me pull up his stats real quick. 5 goals on the season for your 5-6 defenseman, I'd like that on the Oilers. Ben Chiarot.
Does he go by the nickname of Chariot?
No.
That's very sad.
We call him Chia Pet.
Oh, that's
we have one. We have one of those. All right, so Ben Chiarot. He's got 5 goals, 13 assists for 18 points on the season, plus 7. I mean, not bad for. Over 20 points for your 5-6 defenseman. Not bad.
My God, people hate him.
Really?
Yeah, the hardcore Jets fans are all they mostly hate him because they wanted Sami Niku to be a regular on the team from the start, and they felt that Ben Chiarot was somehow limiting that from happening. I'll tell you something. Another thing about Chiarot that I think these guys don't like is that he was pretty bad when he came into the league. He was basically a bench guy that was brought in. But he has slowly but surely gotten better each and every season, each and every month. Now I think he's a really solid bottom pair guy, and he's paid appropriately, and he's big and he's physical. He's not going to wow you with anything, but I've been really, really, really happy with Chiarot this year.
Well, yeah, and you need those bottom pairing guys that could, come in, do their job, don't be too fancy, and at the end of the night, they contribute positively to the team, right? So
yeah, exactly. So I'm looking at I listed off. He's got over 20 points this season, and like I said, for a bottom pairing defenseman, that's really good. I'm looking at some of his fancy stats here. His Corsi's not great. He's at a 47. He's got a negative 2.6 Corsi. Again, he's one of your bottom pairing guys. So for him to not be super he's pretty it's going to take 2 good games and he's back to a positive Corsi. How long is he signed through? Is he a UFA at the end of this year?
Are you guys trying to poach him from us or what? No, I think he's still signed beyond this year.
Does he shoot right?
He does shoot right.
I'll take him.
No, he shoots left. That is a lie. He shoots left.
Shit. Sorry, I thought he shot right. I don't know why I got that. Well, I guess
I'll
he's not
still take him.
All right. Yeah, and I think part of what plagues our defensemen on the Jets is the fact that our forwards are actually pretty bad defensively. Roslovic's bad defensively, Connor's bad defensively, Wheeler and Scheifele aren't great defensively. So, that obviously people don't really consider that when they're looking at defensemen, but the way that your forwards back check, the way they put pressure on in the neutral zone, that allows your defensemen to play their gaps a certain way. That's my biggest frustration as a defenseman. There'll be a play where your forward won't put any back pressure on the guy coming in on the ice, or even worse, he will like check your guy, which will back you into your goaltender, and then somehow that's your fault when you get scored on. So,
and let me tell you, Chris is very vocal about that in pickup games.
Mike's heard about that more than once or twice.
Yeah, if there is no back pressure or you back pressure the wrong guy, Chris throws his hands up, he shakes his head, he gets very upset.
You would hate to play with me then, man, because I don't think I've back checked in the last 10 years.
Look, as long as you're providing a good outlet for a pass and you're like driving the play forward, I don't fucking care.
And you can receive the pass. If you can receive the pass,
you got to do something out there.
Yeah. And so just to jump down this rabbit hole a little bit more, Ben Chiarot and Tyler Myers are both UFAs at the end of the season.
Whoa. So I think Myers is going to re-sign. I'm pretty sure.
So
I don't
Myers
know if you
is making 5.5 right now.
There's been a lot of rumors around Myers, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Well, there have been for years, though.
Yeah, like I've heard like every single conceivable trade from him to Edmonton throughout the last couple seasons.
Every time the trade deadline or something like that rolls around at the beginning of the season, there's like Myers unhappy or not unhappy, but like going to be moved somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's been following Myers since his days in Buffalo.
Well, yeah, I remember trade rumors from way back, right?
Yeah.
Is he just too tall? Is that why they want to trade him?
No, it's that I think people expect, a certain game from him. So Tyler Myers plays better when he plays big minutes. If he's limited to playing like sub 15 minutes or even sub 20 minutes, he's prone to like making mistakes. Even last night, like he had a Tyler Myers moment where he was behind our net and he actually tried to make a pass up the middle of the ice, but Brossoit had his back to him and he was out of the net. So Myers actually put it off the inside of Brossoit's 5-hole and almost scored on his own net. If Kulikov wasn't there to stop that puck from going in, he would have scored on his own net. So
almost a Steve Smith moment, eh?
Right.
Oh, no.
So Myers will occasionally like make a really dumb decision, but in my opinion, he really offsets that for his wonderful skating. He can really get the puck out of trouble. He's got such great reach. He surprises you sometimes with some of his rushes because he's just like this big gazelle, and he'll just go around guys. And offensively, he's a pretty special player, I think. But defensively, sometimes he's suspect.
I'm looking at his numbers here. He's got 8 goals, 16 assists, 24 points, plus 11 in 65 games. Is Kulikov normally his defensive pair?
Yeah.
And so obviously Kulikov's a bit more of the defensive defenseman out of the two of them. He's sitting at a 50 exactly Corsi, so pretty back and forth. But he's playing. He's averaging about 20 minutes a night right now. And obviously, do you think his minutes have jumped a bit with obviously Buffalo and Morrissey missing some time?
Oh, absolutely, no doubt. He's the second best defenseman. So
yeah.
It's like Trouba.
So you think?
But where he shines is he was really great in the playoffs last year. So
yeah,
that's
I remember
pretty
that.
cool.
So he's kind of more of a big moments kind of defenseman, right?
Yeah, he's clutch, man. He's a clutch kind of guy. I think he needs to be in the spotlight. He's kind of like Patrick Laine in that sense, I think.
Tyler Myers is Patrick Laine, confirmed.
There you go.
So you think he resigns then?
So what leads me to believe he will resign is you guys probably haven't heard this story, but his wife had a really difficult childbirth like last season, or I think it was last season or the season before. And the Jets gave him off like a ton of fucking time.
I do remember him missing some time, and it was for personal reasons.
Right. So and Myers since then has spoken several times about how much the way he felt about the way that the organization and all of his teammates treated him through that. And I think that built up some really great loyalty. At the end of the day, though, again, it's a business. And, the Jets have some players they need to re-sign coming up. So, Line A is probably, lowered his payday a little bit this year. He, if he would have scored 50 goals, it probably would have been a different story. But so I don't know. It's if he takes a bit of a discount, I could see him re-signing. So I think it's about 50-50 right now.
So okay, so then Mike, so if he takes a bit of a discount, he re-signs. But do you think if he bumps it up by just 500 grand, so now he's asking for 6 now, do you re-sign him?
That's a really good question. I don't think so. Tyler Myers could be a top 4 defenseman, but when you look at the Winnipeg Jets, so they have Morrissey and Trouba's our number 1 pair, obviously. Bufflin's our 3rd guy in the top 4, and then Chiarot has been Bufflin's natural pair because they just seem to work together. But I could see Niku sliding into that slot next year because he's been excellent. So really, Tyler Myers will be asking in that case for top 4 pay to be in a bottom 4 or in a bottom 2 role. So that's going to be a hard sell, especially for a team that's really up against the cap. So it'll be difficult.
Yeah. If the guy's asking for $6 million, that's the thing you want to give to a very a good number 3 defenseman kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
100%.
And Trouba's obviously an RFA at the end of this season, so you guys have a little bit more negotiation room with him.
So I think that's the scenario where Myers stays, is that Trouba's made it very clear he doesn't want to be in Winnipeg. So there's a good chance he's going to get traded.
Trouba to Edmonton,
otherwise,
please.
If he does another arbitration, that will take him to UFA, and then we're going to lose him, right? So I think the Jets they needed to do something last year, but I guess they couldn't or they didn't. So that's a really dicey situation. So if Trouba moves on, then obviously that opens up a place for Myers. But we'll see.
So then, if we're no, you go ahead, Dalton.
Well, I was so you're thinking that if Tyler Myers ends up signing an extension with the Jets, you're basically waving goodbye to Trouba at that point.
Oh yeah, it won't be one. It won't be both of them. I'm fairly certain, unless Myers says, you know what, I admit it. I'm a bottom pair defenseman that does power play and penalty killing. I'm going to sign for 5 times 5 or something like that, which is not going to happen. He's not going to take a pay cut, nor should he. So
yeah. So you think it's one or the other? You guys are either starting next season with either Myers or Trouba.
Yeah, totally.
And then and Sammy Miku, obviously, if he starts sliding in, filling the role, that's a cost controlled. He's making $775 grand for this year and next, and then he's an RFA. So that obviously the good teams are the ones that use their entry levels right.
And he's he's a Morrissey light. His puck moving in his own zone is nearly as good as Morrissey already. It's elite. He's more offensively, biased, and probably not as strong defensively. But what he's shown in this last time up with the Jets is that he can use his stick and his smarts. He's not the biggest guy to protect the puck and transition it in his own zone. He reminds me a lot of Toby Enstrom, actually.
Oh yeah, I remember Enstrom. So then kind of what started the conversation is, what do you think then happens with Chiarot at the end of the season?
I think he re-signs. The Jets gave him so much time to grow. Although I really like Beaulieu. I think he's great. And maybe Beaulieu sticks around as well. I don't know how that all works.
Yeah, so looking at it, Chiarot's making 1.4 and he's a UFA at the end of the season. Beaulieu's making 2.4 and he's an RFA at the end of the season. And Beaulieu is 26, Chiarot is 27.
Yeah. But Beaulieu is a first-round draft pick, and he is already demonstrated, and obviously it's a very small sample size, but he's already demonstrated much better transitional puck handling skills in his own zone. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what are you thinking? Like, what's the Winnipeg Jets Cup window here? Like, how long do they have before this team really starts to fall off, and you're going to need to do a little bit of a retool?
Well, we're still the youngest team in the NHL, so that says a lot right there.
So you think like 7 years, maybe?
Really depends. Like, you look at some teams, like look at the Pens. The Pens are still at it. Like Cheveldayoff and our pro scouting is, well, yeah, I think our pro scouting's actually been pretty good. You look at Stasny fit really well. You look at, Beaulieu is showing very well. Hayes is showing really well. So the players they're adding seem to really work for the team. So, assuming that that's a big component of whether you have your longevity, right? Because, you've got your base of prospect and young talent, which you've got their life cycle, but you've always got to enhance those players with supporting players. So that's where your scouting and your GM comes in. So I think it's pretty long.
So I agree. My question is, I think a big thing that will keep the Jets obviously in contention is Blake Wheeler. And he is, aside from Matt Hendricks, but let's be honest, Matt Hendricks is never going to be playing. He's the oldest player on this line. He's the oldest forward at 32. Do you think he can keep his play going?
That's a really good question. I think he stays really fit. So, does he doesn't, like, he's been effective and it hasn't been based off of speed necessarily, even though he does have some speed. So I feel like players like that, forwards who use other tools other than speed to be effective, generally tend to last longer. So
do you think he'll start to, as like the speed starts to drop off a bit, do you think he'll start morphing towards more of maybe like a Joe Thornton?
I was just about to bring him up. That's who I think he's going to turn into in his next coming years.
Yeah, because you look at the strong cycle game of that first line. You can still do that with minimal speed. He's obviously a very good puck handler and a very good passer, so those things are going to serve him even when he slows down a little bit.
Yep. All right, well, I think we've dissected the Jets lineup a little bit.
That probably equals like all we've talked about the Jets the entire podcast series.
Well, you got to do it every now and again. So now we can move on to, I guess, NHL news from the last week. Last night, the Tampa Bay Lightning became the first team to clinch a playoff spot.
To everybody's surprise.
Exactly. So my question on this then, do we think, Lightning are killing everyone. Like, it doesn't matter who they play. They're walking on them. So is this like the year where like President's Trophy winner shows up in the playoffs and stomps everyone? Or do we think this is another like Washington Capitals sort of circa a couple of years ago, win the President's Trophy, lose in the third round?
I mean, even making it to the third round is a huge accomplishment, right? At the end of the day, the end goal is really to win the Stanley Cup, but making it that far, like, that's great for them. But
yeah, but
honestly,
the Lightning have been doing that the last 3 years. I mean, I think same thing as Washington Capitals. I mean, they're kind of tired of that, and they want to win the damn thing.
But yeah, exactly. That's why I think actually that Tampa has a really good shot again this year, because they have the experience now. They've gone to those games, they played it. They made it to the finals already. Like, Tampa has every single piece they need, except for maybe another goaltender. I don't have very much faith in Louis Domingue, but other than that, I think Tampa is basically...
What do you know about Vasilevsky? Vasilevsky's their starter.
Sure, but what happens if Vasilevsky goes down? I think if Vasilevsky goes down, Tampa... Like, is their offense and defense good enough to prop Domingue up to being an NHL starter?
I mean, it has so far in the regular season. I don't know if it would hold up in a playoff series.
Exactly. Like, it's kind of tough to tell for that, but I think if Vasilevsky stays healthy, I think Tampa has, like, one of the best shots we've seen in the last 5-10 years maybe of winning the Cup.
So you think Tampa just kind of walks? If Vasilevsky stays healthy, they walk through it?
I think they're going to have a tough playoff series in the second round versus potentially Toronto or Boston. I think that one's going to be a huge test for them, but I think if they can win that series, they're basically going to the finals at that point.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think?
Well, I mean, obviously injuries are a huge factor, right? and in the playoffs, if Hedman goes down, if is it Girardi?
Yeah,
their second best defenseman.
No.
McDonough, I'd say.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I get the Rangers mixed up all the time. Yeah,
That's right. There's too many of them.
Yeah, so if those two guys go down, well, obviously that's going to be extremely significant. And also like the playoffs, right? Like you look at odds of winning, and even the teams with the highest odds of winning the cup, like their percentage chances of like making it to the finals is below 25%. So they're not a walk in the park, that's for sure. They're not like a lock to do it for sure.
Well, yeah, if you look at the money puck stats right now, I think Tampa's like sitting at a 20%, and that's like by far the highest in the league at the moment.
And that's just, that's the tournament, right? The game is different in the playoffs, and the way that they play, I think is kind of conducive to the playoffs. So I think they'll do well, but yeah, injuries are a big one.
Yeah. I agree. So then the last piece of real news, I guess, from last week is Ted Lindsay passed away. Huge hockey icon, and not only as a player, but some of the stuff he did off the ice. He first off, his nickname was Terrible Ted for his play on the ice. I read a quote that it said he never left a fight. He never dropped his stick when he started a fight, which is kind of an absolutely terrifying thing to hear. But then off the ice, he really pushed for. He founded the Players Association, so the players can go and argue for millions of dollars in arbitration rights. And he did a lot of stuff off the ice. And I actually saw another quote that said he was working out in the Red Wings facility until he was like in his like late 80s.
My man.
Yeah,
and Chris also got to watch his rookie game too. So
yeah. So I mean, just a huge, obviously loss to the hockey world. Just an incredible figure, icon. Do you guys have anything you want to say?
Well, the Red Wings, their memorial thing was very cool as well. How they had all the 7 through all the stands and stuff like that. It was very, very, very good ceremony.
Yeah. And then I guess the last thing I really have on my list is Draisaitl is now second in league scoring, guys.
The German's a tank. He's really stepped it up this year.
Yeah, and then the thing is, like, I don't know if I've really noticed anything different from like his shooting or anything from the last couple of years. It just seems like, I don't know, he's just playing with. Honestly, biggest thing I noticed is he's playing with some swagger.
He definitely is. Well, he's trying those moves, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest indication. Like, he comes down every rush and he's like putting the puck between sticks. He's doing toe drag. It's like he's got big dick swinging.
Yeah, I also noticed he's doing that before. You could see he was trying to make those plays that were just mind blowing plays. Yeah. But before, he was making them in a lot of scenarios where if he messed up, that puck's in the back of his net. Yeah. Now I've started to notice like he's not doing that play at his own blue line, right? Yeah. He's not. He's doing the offensive zone where he has like some support with them. Yeah. He's matured, I'd say.
Yeah. He's starting to morph a little bit towards, and as he said, like one of his big role models he looked up to, he's starting to morph towards the more Anze Kopitar role. And the thing is, it's like it's not just McDavid. Like obviously McDavid's missed 6 games this season, 3 games, and Draisaitl has 6 points.
Yeah,
3 goals, 3 assists, and like recently, sometimes like the last couple games, sometimes he's with McDavid, and sometimes he's run his own line. Like he's like and I've been saying this for years, having the flexibility of being able to throw Nuge or Draisaitl onto their own line or with McDavid is just so good. And once we get a good bottom 6, we're going to be unstoppable.
Yeah. And it's nice to see Nuge with McDavid as well, because it really allows McDavid the freedom to go be that offensive phenom he is, right? Without having to worry so much about defensively. Because Dry, while being an exceptional offensive player, lacks a little bit on the defensive side, though he is a great penalty killer.
There's some times when he'll try like the good move, or it'll get broken up, and at the end of a shift, and he's like laboring to get back, and I'm like, please get back, please get back. Oh my god, please get back. It's Benning and Sakara on a 3-on-2. Please get back, please get back.
It's been really, really nice to see his game morph and change here.
It has. So, I mean, we can keep this one short, boys, and we want to jump right to the predictions for the coming week.
Oh, yeah. I got to go do another 13 hours of math today, so.
Oh, is that still calc, pal?
Oh, it's calc, it's data structures. There's a lot of fun stuff I'm doing.
Wow, no thank you. See, I'm struggling doing math for liberal arts.
It's all right, man. I can't write to save my life, so it's good.
There you go. I've actually been also working on, for a little bit of a teaser, I've also been working on my own little piece for the blog.
Ooh.
Dalton, how is yours coming along?
Yo, I got stuck a little bit because I don't know how to write. So I took a little bit off. I came back to it a little bit more. I'm hoping in the next couple days to get it out, though.
All right, cool. You got a little teaser maybe about what it's about?
It is about Sam Gagner.
All right. I like it. I'll drop a little teaser for mine. I'm talking about the outside chance of the Oilers making the playoffs.
Ooh.
Because me and my dad were looking at it, and as of right now, the Oilers are sitting, not to give too much away about what I'm writing, the Oilers are sitting at a 4.8% to make it.
Yo, I believe. Give me that coin flip after coin flip after coin flip. I'm picking heads every time, boys. Let's go.
So those should be coming out soon. So I will obviously post the links to Twitter and all that sort of stuff. So make sure to check out southoftheblueline.com. All right, boys, let's do the predictions for the week. So first game on the docket is tonight at 7. Big national matchup. The Toronto Maple Leafs play in Edmonton this time. How are we feeling about this game? Dalton, start us off.
I'm beginning to believe. Oilers 3-0 victory. McDavid with a natural hat trick.
3-0 win, and then a Mick D. Hattie. Chris, what are you thinking about the Toronto-Edmonton game?
Oh, my gosh. Please, Oilers, beat them. 4-3.
4-3 win?
Yes.
All right. See, now, if I was the gamesmanship, I would vote and take the Oilers to lose here, but not this game.
You can't.
The Oilers, 5-2 win.
Loving it.
All right, then tomorrow night, the Washington Capitals play at home against the Winnipeg Jets. Chris, playing the defending Stanley Cup champs. What do you think?
I feel like the Jets can beat them. I feel like Patrick Laine is going to have a hat trick because he's going to get all excited about playing against Ovi. So I think it's going to be a 5-2 Jets win.
Are they all going to be power play goals?
No, not one power play goal.
What?
Wow, hot take. Dalton, what do you think?
I think the Jets, they're flying high, to put a little bit of a pun in there. And yeah, wow, thanks. I know, so original, right? I think they're gonna have a nice 4-1 victory.
Nice 4-1 win. You know what? Okay. I'll stick with you guys. I'm gonna say the Jets are gonna beat them 3-2. Yeah. All right. Then the Oilers play on Monday at home. They start actually a bit of a homestand here. They play the New York Rangers. I'm going to start this one off. I'm going to say it's kind of an easy 3-1 win for the Oilers. Of course, by saying it's going to be an easy win, they're going to lose like 6-0.
Yeah, you just cursed yourself right there.
Yeah, Dalton, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm totally on board this train. I think the Oilers are going to smack them 6-1.
Ooh, 6-1. All right. 6-1 win. Chris, what do you think?
Well, if the Oilers have any dream of making the playoffs, they got to win this game. I'm going to say it's going to be close, 2-1.
2-1 win. All right. Then the Winnipeg Jets play the Western Conference foes, San Jose Sharks. Could be a preview for the playoffs. Dalton, start us off.
Well, the Sharks are without Erik Karlsson for pretty much the rest of the season here. So
Yep.
I think the Jets are another win in a row, but this one's going to be a little closer. 3-2.
3-2 win. All right, Chris.
Oh, boy. Games against the Sharks are always nerve-wracking. I think the Sharks are going to win this one. I think it's going to be 3-2 in overtime.
3-2 OT loss. Okay. Interesting. We got a bit of a split here. I'm gonna go positive. We're going positive this week. I'm gonna say the Jets are gonna win 4-1.
Ooh.
All right, and then the Oilers take on the New Jersey Devils on Wednesday. Chris, you want to start us off on this one?
Sure. I think the Devils, unfortunately, going to win this one 3-1.
Oh, and it all comes crashing down. Dalton, what do you think?
The Devils don't even have a team anymore, so I think the Oilers are going to win this one 4-1.
4-1 win. I'm going to say the Oilers are going to win this one 5-3. All right, and then the last game of the week, the Winnipeg Jets play the Boston Bruins at home. So Dalton, kick us off.
I'm going to predict my first loss of the week with a 3-1 victory for the Boston Bruins.
3-1 Jets loss. All right, I will go. I'm going to say, honestly, I've been really annoyed with the Boston Bruins announcer recently.
Oh, man, I love Jack Edwards.
He's the worst.
He's such a homer.
I understand, obviously, you can tell, when Kevin Quinn, when the Oilers play, he's like, what a goal or whatever. But when the other team scores, he's still pretty fired up. There's very little difference between the excitement in his voice when either team scores. But when Boston comes around, someone will get into a fight or something like that, and he'll just be like, "Take that, you fool!" Or he's just he goes, "That's giving it to him," and all that stuff. He just. I hate watching Boston highlights for that sort of stuff.
Yo, dude, I love it for that exact reason.
I'm going to say it's going to be a 6-3 Jets win. And Chris, bring us home.
I think the Jets are going to bounce back and win 3-1.
A 3-1 win. All right. Well, boys, that is it. Make sure to check out the blog in the next couple days. Once those articles come out, I will be sending out links. Episode 20, gone and done. We're chugging along, boys. We got a solid 12-person fan base following.
Hey, that's 12 more people than I know personally, so that's pretty good.
There you go. So you can follow us on SoundCloud at Southwood Blue Line Podcast. You can follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, anywhere you find your podcast, we are probably there. You can follow us on Twitter at Blue Line South. Follow our blog at southwoodblueline.com. Well, boys, another solid week, and I will talk to you all next week. See you, boys.
Yeah, see you later, guys.
Later.